Welcome back to Wine and Dine, the show about good food, good wine, and entertaining. I'm your host, Mark DeWolf, and in today's tasty edition, we're going to talk about adding a little spice into your holiday routine. In a recent interview I did with Shivani Shivani's Kitchen, a Nova Scotia-based producer of Indian spices and prepared Indian foods and sauces, we talked about the evolution of Nova Scotia and how it's welcomed a lot of immigrants and a lot of people from foreign countries, including India. And we talked about incorporating Indian spices and food into not only Indian cuisine, but about incorporating into different styles of cuisine. And I thought, okay, why not a little bit of holiday entertaining with a little Indian spice in the mix? So Shivani makes some great spices, so I'm going to focus today on her chai masala. You know, chai masala is a blend that really has a bit of aromatics to it. It has some cloves and cinnamon and cardamom and some other ingredients, but really has that kind of baking spice scent too that we associate with holidays and holiday baking. So let's begin. And what a great way to begin would be a cocktail, right? So when I think about holiday cocktails, I think about this time of year when it's getting a little chilly outside, might be some snow on the ground. Makes me think about whiskey cocktails. And the most classic whiskey cocktail is an old-fashioned. So how are we gonna add Indian spice to an old-fashioned cocktail? Well, the easiest way is to make a simple syrup. So I made a simple syrup using chai masala by combining 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of chai masala, depending on your preference of how spicy and how aromatic you want it to be. Put that in a pot, bring it to a boil. As soon as the sugar dissolves, take it off the heat, let it steep. I poured it through a coffee filter just to help get rid of the spices and the texture of the spices. And then you have a great ingredient. You know, I just put it in little bottles. It's a great little gift. You could give somebody a bottle of whiskey, the recipe, a little of your homemade Indian spice simple syrup, and you have a great gift to give at this time of year. So what do we need to do? Old fashioned is so simple. You know, we're talking about 2 ounces of good quality whiskey. Could be bourbon, nice Canadian whiskey. Then we're talking about our simple syrup. I'm going to do about 3/4 of an ounce. You just decide what is your kind of tolerance for sweetness and spice. A couple dashes of bitters. I've got these nice orange bitters from Dillon's. Just stir it up. We're just going to stir that until it gets nice and diluted. That usually is about 12 to 15 seconds. We're going to speed it up for today. Pour it into a nice chilled glass. And suddenly you have a really inventive but delicious holiday cocktail featuring whiskey and chai masala. So, as you can tell on the stove, I have something simmering away. So here I have my base of a tourtière. So tourtière for me is what says holidays to me. It's what my mom makes every year at Christmas time. And normally my mom's version has a fair amount of cloves and cinnamon in it. So why not use chai masala instead? So all we've done here is sauteed off some ground meat. You can use whatever you like. It could be, my mom usually uses a bit of pork, a bit of beef, a bit of lamb. In this one, I just have a bit of ground veal and a ground lamb. I've sauteed some onion with it, added my chai masala, makes it really fragrant. And just to be a little bit different, I'm just gonna make it an hors d'oeuvre. So I'm going to add in the mashed potato. So it's about a cup of mashed potato to about a pound of meat. Stir that up. You know, we can pretend that that's been going for a few minutes just so it's nicely combined. And then we just have, you know, prepared pastry shells. I just kind of bake them off a little bit, fill them up, fill up a tray with that, pop it back in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. Make sure the pastry shells are cooked and the meat's warm. Then you have a nice little holiday-inspired appetizer featuring Indian spices. Come right back. Okay, so welcome back. We've made our little tourtière hors d'oeuvres. I actually also made some spiced almonds. So, you know, when we're working with these spices, it doesn't have to be savory food all the time. It can also be sweet things. So The almonds, really simple. I just melted some butter with some maple syrup, a little bit of sugar, a pinch of salt, a little bit of the chai masala. Added the almonds, kind of toasted them off a bit, put them on a parchment-lined baking sheet, baked them in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then you have a great kind of holiday-inspired, Indian-inspired treat that you could package up in a jar, give as a little housewarming gift, and really give somebody something that's inspired by local, inspired by the multicultural nature now of Nova Scotia, and something that's just a real treat to have. So next thing we're going to do is make a very quick chai hot chocolate. So into our pan we have about 3 cups of whole milk. Next, we're going to add in a little bit of cornstarch. So that's just to help thicken it up. So we're going to whisk that in, make sure there is no lumps. Now, just to add a little richness to it, we're going to add in some heavy cream. Now we're going to start to get to the good stuff. So we got a little bit of chai masala mixed with some cocoa powder in. A little bit of vanilla. You could use a little whiskey if you wanted. We're going to add in some grated chocolate, a little bit of sugar and salt. It's going to take a few minutes to whisk this up, so come right back. We'll have this finished, and we'll see what else we got in store for you. Okay, welcome back to Wined and Dined. I've got my spiced almonds in jars, just ready to be gift wrapped or given them as a hostess gift or a host gift. I've got my Tourtière bites that I'm just ready to enjoy as a great seasonal hors d'oeuvre. I've got my old fashioned that was spiced with the chai masala simple syrup, ready to be drunk. And I've got a French press full of our chai masala hot chocolate, just ready to be poured out, garnished with some whipped cream or marshmallows. I just got this from President's Choice as part of their holiday gift program. It's a great little gift for people like myself to enjoy this holiday season. So what's left to do? Well, I think it's to have a little sip of old-fashioned, a bite of my Tourtière, and we'll see you soon on Wined and Dined. Cheers.